Oh, Ferrari, it has been so long since you've actually managed to achieve anything in Formula. How long has it been? Years? Decades? Centuries? Thousands of years. The last time you actually managed to achieve something was before Jesus Christ was born, and that was like an odd 2,000 years ago. They were genuinely once so good, and I'm not just talking about a standout driver. Or heck, not just a standout season, but genuinely, driver upon driver, season upon season, everything upon everything, car upon car. Ferrari used to actually be good. It used to be, oh, Ferrari, championship battle? Probably it's Ferrari, what do you expect? Their dominance back then beat, excelled, surpassed the likes of Max Verstappen. And, well, we all know how that's going at the moment.
Max Verstappen wins for Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen, Max Verstappen.
You see, it's like saying that Max Verstappen will never win another race, will never win another championship, Red Bull will never win anything for the next 100 years. That's like putting your money on blue in roulette. Like, it's just not even an option. How are you going to say that? It doesn't make any sense. And if you said in the early 2000s that Ferrari are going to fall off the face of a cliff, they're going to be awful, they're going to be looking like Kermit the Frog. If you even dared to say that Ferrari wouldn't win a championship, wouldn't win anything, it would just be misery upon misery, then I think every single Italian would be very, very mad at you. They'd be more mad at you than if you would snap some spaghetti in front of their face or put pineapple on pizza. It's just not going to happen, is it? But at the moment in Ferrari, 1 week the drivers are jumping into the harbour of Monaco, winning races.
Charles Leclerc wins the Monaco Grand Prix.
I mean, look at his face, the pure joy, the pure, oh, I'm a Ferrari driver, I want to be here. And then the next week you flick a little page, you go to Montreal, and the exact same driver isn't jumping into the harbour, but wanting to jump off a high top building. I mean, for starters, just look at his face. Sheer and utter disappointment. And that is, well, pretty much what every single Ferrari fan has been seeing or been looking like for the past, I don't know, 15 years. Ferrari, how is it? Now, I think in everybody's eyes, it's pretty difficult to, one, win a race, score points, even win a championship in Formula 1. It's pretty difficult, let's be real. Not many people have done it. Not many people have even gotten close to doing it. It's like, it's pretty difficult to be last every single year on the grid because, well, you actually have to be that treacherous to be that bad. For some, it might be easy, but I mean, even a Haas, they can't be last every single season, can they? But something that I think is even more difficult than finishing last every single year or finishing first every single year is, well, being in the mix but managing to lose every single year. Like, you're so close. One hand is on the trophy. You're in that final race of the season. You might win, you might lose. Well, if you're Ferrari, you're going to lose either way. So you might as well not even attend the race. You either come second, third, fourth in the constructors. It's always in the mix, but you're always so far out the mix that you're not in the... Now, Ferrari might not be in the championship anymore because Ferrari's Ferrari and they're grieving their own everything, but Lando is, Verstappen is. If you want to see a championship fight, then like and subscribe, otherwise it will not happen. The shenanigans of 2008, well, there were many things that caused Felipe Massa to lose that championship. Not only was it a certain incident caused by a certain PK, but then if the team didn't basically blow up the car on the pits, then who knows? He might have still scored a couple points and still been closer to the championship than he was. And he was very close because he was celebrating like he just won the championship in Brazil. But then Hamilton crosses the line and Timo Glock slows down and, you know, oh, that's a championship lost.
And is that Glock? Is that Glock going slowly?
It is,
that's
it's Glock. Oh my goodness me, Hamilton's back in position again.
The faked and fraudulent seasons of Fernando Alonso's time in Ferrari, 2010, 2012. I mean, Sebastian Vettel, you're not going to win a race being the wrong way around. You've taken some notes out of Pastor Maldonado's book on that one. But, well, I guess he won that race and still won the championship. And Alonso was crying. But Sebastian Vettel can't win everything, and he couldn't win everything, especially in that Ferrari, because 17, 18, 19... Well, I mean, it was his fault half the time, it was the team's fault the other half the time, the car's fault the other half the time. It was just a mixture of Ferrari being Ferrari and being so close, yet so far.
sake. Sorry, guys.
Do I even bother talking about 2022? Well, that was just a mixture of Charles Leclerc being Charles Leclerc and Ferrari being, well, Ferrari. Ferrari are the type of people that not only do they put you out on soft tyres when it's raining, they put you out on wet tyres when it's boiling ass hot dry. You just never know what they're gonna do. It's like a massive little curveball in a race. It's like slotting in Nikita Mazepin for a race. It's a curveball. What lap is the safety car gonna come out on? Lap 2? Lap 1? Turn 1? Last corner of the entire Grand Prix? Who knows? You never know. You know there's gonna be a safety car, but when? Who knows? Seems like there's an ongoing trend in Ferrari. The drivers make certain mistakes on a very, very, very regular occasions. And, well, the team is the team. The Italians are the Italians, and the Italians sometimes are acting like circus clowns. Madagascar potentially might be calling, and Madagascar might be potentially where you're going to be shipped after you ruin another driver's season. Because that's far, far away from any sort of Formula 1 realm. Bye-bye. But hey, that's all the past. The past is in the past. You can't really change the past unless, well, you think you're Big Brother in 1984, but we're not in 1984, or we're not nowhere near that yet. But obviously, over time, you can either improve, or you can not improve and fall back down. And surely Ferrari, over the amount of struggles that they've had, hard times create good warriors. Surely, after all of those hard times, Ferrari can actually become warriors, become great, become absolutely fantastic. And it seemed like Ferrari in 2024 were actually getting their shit together. It was actually starting to, piece by piece, the puzzle was being solved. All the issues were being, oh, that's an issue? Nope, that's not an issue anymore. That's a problem? Oh, it isn't anymore. After firing a literal broccoli of a team principal, okay, things started to go better. The Ferrari mechanics weren't resembling clowns anymore, but Guido. Yes, they were looking like Guido. Actual fast, good pit stops, no real mistakes, the strategies actually seemed on point. Ooh, Leclerc wasn't controlling the strategies. He wasn't saying, guys, I think we should pit. Oh, I think we should pit. No, it was genuinely good. Charles Leclerc had unmorphed himself from looking like Lance Stroll and crashing out every single race, and morphed into, oh, a Kimi Raikkonen, a Lewis Hamilton, a Fernando Alonso. That doesn't crash out at all. Consistency upon consistency. That was what Charles Leclerc's season was looking like. And honestly, same with Carlos Sainz's. It looked perfect. Both drivers seemed to be on rails. It seemed to be consistent. It seemed to be at an upward trajectory. Every single race, they were getting better and better and better. And this all builds up to Australia, where Carlos Sainz actually managed to win a race in the third race of the season. Oh my god, he won a race. Now, yes, agreed, Max Verstappen's car blew up. But then, oh, Charles Leclerc managed to win on pure pace in Monaco. No, things are actually starting to go well. The championship is brewing up. Ferrari might be contenders for the championship because Sergio Perez is at the bottom of the field every single race. So that's basically a 2v1, an easy little clap up on Max Verstappen. Surely it should be wrapped up by now. All of the problems seem to be solved. The team principal actually knew what he was doing. The pit strategy, the race strategy, the pit crew, they knew what they were doing. The drivers, they were putting in fast lap times, they were putting in pole positions, they were putting in race wins, podiums. And the car, oh, that car was nice. I'm talking about the pre-Canada car, of course, because they had to go everything. Tell me how. How do you go from winning races, podiums, to not even making it into Q3, to having a car slower than the Alpines? You're in a championship fight. It's not a joke anymore. You can actually win the constructors. Work together. One of you can win the drivers. And then Ferrari goes, f***s everything over. They're like, no, the car is the car. We don't really want to win the championship this year. No, we're going to sacrifice the car. The car's going to be awful. They went from scoring podiums, wins, to qualifying now 4th, 5th, 7th, 10th, 12th, 11th. What the fuck? And surely if you're Ferrari, you go attack the issues that you currently have. The issues at the moment are the car, well, maybe still the team, maybe the development of the car, basically just the car. They have all the foundation blocks to build a nice little pyramid of, you know, wins and championships like they used to, but no, they're changing things that don't have to be changed. They're changing the drivers where the drivers are good. It's a good 1-2 dynamic. No real issues. It's all good. But now they have to go things up. They have to go mess everything around and focus on the things that aren't important at the moment. And next year, who knows, it might be an absolute huge potential mess. Two drivers that want to win a championship, Hamilton obviously wanting to win his 8th, and, well, Leclerc obviously wanting to win his 1st. And they might be squabbling a tad bit too much for Ferrari's liking. They might be on top of each other, just like, well, Hamilton and Verstappen were in 2021. No, quite literally on top of each other. Monaco was an all-time high for Ferrari. It was like, oh, no, we're actually back. But yet again, they're faking a championship and then fumbling the bag. It's honestly impressive to not win a championship for that long. And, oh, well, Ferrari will just turn around and say, don't worry, next year is our year. Next year will be our year. Next year will be our year to dominate. But they've been saying that for the last 15 years. And the closest they've gotten was second. Every single time they've done it, second. It seems like pretty much every single year that they've spent in Formula 1, they're adding their tally of how many fumbled seasons can we have. Every single year is a fumbled season if Ferrari doesn't win. You expect the best of the best from Ferrari, and surely next year, if they don't manage to win with Lewis Hamilton and Charles Leclerc, arguably the two best drivers on the grid, then surely there should be more questions than there are answers. Because I'm not sure how that is possible when you have the best drivers on the grid and you're in Ferrari, arguably the best team on the grid, and you're still not winning. Now, if that isn't a sign, if that isn't a cause for concern, then I don't know what is. Because if that doesn't happen, then I genuinely think Ferrari are doomed and they'll never ever win another championship in their entire history of existence. For me, it's the overpromisement of Ferrari and the underdeliverment. I mean, we've seen Toto Wolff promising Lewis Hamilton, promising George Russell, guys, next year will be our year. He's been doing that for the past 3 years. And look where they've been. Nowhere. Nobody, like Mercedes, it's Mercedes. No one really cares at this point anymore. They're losing Hamilton. They're losing everything that that team used to have. The prestige, the pedigree, the drivers. And it's just becoming just your average Joe team. And I think that's potentially what might happen to Ferrari if they don't win with Leclerc or Hamilton. Leclerc's contract's going to expire. Hamilton's contract's going to expire. Hamilton might retire. Leclerc might move on, try to find a better team, because Ferrari, all they've been producing for Charles Leclerc is tears upon tears upon tears. Guarantee you, he would be able to create a whole puddle, a whole ocean of tears, because, well, it never looks good with Charles Leclerc and Ferrari. The one thing that Ferrari has that is backing them is the Ferrari name. But once everybody leaves that team, nobody wants to be associated, then I think people will be losing faith upon faith upon faith. At the end of the day, it's Ferrari. Who wouldn't want to see Ferrari win? But everybody wants to see Ferrari win for the last 15 years, and that just hasn't happened. I mean, yeah, it was fun for a while saying that, oh, next year's going to be Ferrari's year. Next year, they might be good. The hopium, the copium of everything of every single Ferrari fan. I guess it was funny for a while, but now it's actually getting serious. Is there a real issue in that team? Why can't they win? What's happening? It's not just that they can't win, it's the inconsistencies. It's halfway through the season, they could be winning everything, and then the next, they're just absolutely nowhere. They fall off to like the 4th fastest car. Can't they just, a whole season, just be stable at the top? It's not that difficult. If they continued with their trajectory in Monaco, then they would be fine. I guess Monaco is a very low, slow speed circuit, and every other circuit that we've had is, well, pretty high speed. But you can't just bank and gamble on only low speed circuits in Formula 1. What, you're going to wait until Singapore? Is that the only other race you can win? 2 races that you can win? I mean, you managed to score podiums in the first couple races, wins in the first couple races in, well, pretty high-speed circuits. So what has happened? Why can't you score podiums at Canada? Why can't you win a race in Spain? Why can't you do anything? And now in Austria, Ferrari was meant to have a pretty fast car on the straights, and now they've seemed to go back again. Ferrari is literally a machine for disappointment. They take in a driver, they let him drive in the Ferrari. Oh, you're a Ferrari driver. And then they drag him through the ground, drag him through the dirt, and, well, ruin everything about his life. Charles Leclerc, by the end of his contract, is going to be in Ferrari for 10 years. That's 10 seasons to win that championship. And probably how many is he going to win? 0. So, honestly, I don't know about this point. The emotional roller coaster isn't good for my heart rate, isn't good for anything. Because one day it's like, oh my god, Ferrari can do this. The next it's, no, they can't. It's back to being Ferrari. And that's not good for anybody. It's not that Ferrari have gone absolutely brain dead, because they have been pushing out upgrades. But upgrades in Spain And then Spain was like a pretty poor weekend. Bouncing in the corners. I think we left bouncing or porpoising back in 2022, where Hamilton nearly broke his back down the Strait of Azerbaijan. I thought they were old excuses. I thought they were old, well, that shouldn't be happening in 2024. You've had so many years with these new regulations, and still you're bouncing in the corners. You're meant to bring in a good upgrade for Spain. Everybody expected you to be cooking in Spain. Everyone expected you to be cooking in Austria, cooking in, well, I don't think you're going to be cooking anymore. Ratatouille would, number one, be pretty disappointed. Also with Chef Gordon Ramsay. Because number one, it's not good. You see, I don't want Ferrari taking inspiration from Aston Martin, bringing in upgrades to help improve the car, but the car getting slower and slower. In my eyes, upgrades are meant to make the car go faster and faster and help you win races. Similar to McLaren, upgrades upon upgrades, and now look where they are, at the top, but still not winning races because Lando Norris is Lando Norris, and Oscar Piastri is Oscar Piastri. But if there's a will, there's a way, and maybe one day Ferrari will actually be able to upgrade the car enough and maybe do something. 2026 is around the corner, and I think if they get those regulations just spot on, maybe if they sign Adrian Newey, have Lewis Hamilton, have Charles Leclerc, then things might be better. But if they fuck up those regulations yet again, then I generally think it's over. I think it's time that you don't just sell the team, you just not even give it away. You just abolish it in general. Make there 9 teams in the grid, because there's no point of you being on the grid if you can't win championships. By then you probably would have had like an odd 20 odd season to do it, and it's not looking good, bruv. It's not looking good. I think even Stevie Wonder would be able to see how shit you are of a team. No, you just what's going on? Come on. I don't know. Let me know down in the comments. Do you think the Ferrari will ever win anything ever again? Because, well, by the looks of it, I'm not sure. If they haven't been able to do it for the last 15 years, then I don't know whether it's ever going to be possible. Anyway, let me know down in the comments what to their subscribe and like. Well, and yeah, do that. Otherwise, you're not real. You're a fake and a fraud. And hope you enjoy the video. Don't die because then you can't watch other videos. Have a safe and fantastic rest of the day. Peace.